Want to 10x your growth? Discover how only 3 growth hacks in 10 days can change everything. Welcome to the 10-Day Growth Hacking Challenge with your host, Nader Sabri. Today, we're here with Costa, who is with Smart Tenders, shaking things up in the oil and gas industry when it comes to tendering and the procurement process. We're here on the final video, which is awesome. So first and foremost, congratulations, Costa, from me and the team for finishing the challenge, and a double congratulations for being sponsored by the Founders Institute. So double up on that. So awesome. You've done very, very well. And so we always step back in the final video. If you can just give the audience a little bit of feedback, tell us what some of your transformations through this process, some of the big learnings you had, and anything that you believe that you would, as a form of advice, you'd like to give somebody watching this when it comes to this process that they can benefit from.
Sure. So first of all, it was a very, very interesting process that we went through. A lot of attention on experimentation and signaling. So the things that I would like to pass in a way for who is listening or watching the show, the video, is about experimentation, okay, and signaling, because sometimes, most of the time, I would say, as an entrepreneur, so people that believe they have a solution out there, not usually we see the signaling from the outside world. What I want to say with that, again, when we start with a project, when we start with a new venture, we start with few things, with few bias that we have in our mind, and sometimes we don't validate it. So we build an amazing product. We start with all the possible information to put into the project, and on the other side, we don't see angry clients or someone that wants actually paying for our solution. So a stress on this, because what we saw in these 10 days growth hacking exercise, we saw that there is an opportunity to understand from the signaling what's actually is the real benefit that our clients wants. And it is obviously here on the days, it's also pushing you not to overcomplicate and overdo things without having a proper signaling. So you understand, and then you have an opportunity to build a quality, a kind of a product, a quality feature, or a quality way of engaging with your clients. But first, signaling. So those are let's say, the things that I wanna stress.
Awesome.
That I learned.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's a huge transformation for so many people when they step out of the idea of consistently looking for results and not getting results. It's because there's something that supersedes it, and that's signals. And I noticed, like, once you got your first signal, I remember that first day when we spoke, when you got your first signal, the whole thing lit up for you in your mind. I saw that. We were like, I'm just going to look for these signals, and I'm going to keep measuring these signals and creating these adjustments in the process until the signal either goes up, down, or wherever it goes. I think like you did a very good job in mastering that very quickly, by the way. And you have a very kind of structured way that you approach execution, which I also like. I noticed that, and I think I mentioned it to you a few times, and like continue executing the way you're executing, because you not also you just pay attention, very close attention to detail, but you also execute very quickly with high level of accuracy. And these are really important skills when it comes to growth hacking. We've seen in our AI that we use in the system that there's a direct correlation of those who do very well when they grow between the distance of thinking and action. So the closer the distance is between thinking and action, the probability of growth is much higher than thought and action further apart. So definitely an area of high potency for you, which I have seen and mentioned to you, I think, a couple of times. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so what else would you share with anybody watching this about the process? If you were to give just anybody who's never taken this, who's thinking like, is this for real, or is this going to really work for me? What would you tell them from your own experience going through this process?
Yeah, this is for real. This is for real. Because again, we need to understand quick, easy, and sometimes, especially if you know, if it's a company with not a huge revenue, okay, where you can actually experiment, going out with massive budget, having the opportunity to, again, try, test, experiment, and understand what are the needs, and not only the needs, but the needs behind the needs of your clients. This is something I believe which is invaluable, and it's real. You can see it. Okay, you try, you test, you see result, you see signaling, and we generated leads throughout this growth hacking exercise, which is the main objective of the goal, is increasing your customer base or whatever is your challenge. But the main things is actually having something that you can touch. And we touched, you know, throughout this process, how we can generate more leads, how we can be more engaging, and to grow eventually. It's a growth hacking exercise because we want to grow.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And you've grown. I mean, that's the thing. It's on a smaller scale, but it has the ability to scale. And that's the key thing now. And it's about like keeping all that just consistent. You wouldn't believe how many contenders we've had that finished this challenge and they wonder what's next. And I tell them the secret to it is just keep what you're doing consistent. And within 30, 60, and 90-day increments, you will see significant exponential results. And we've seen people who've gone from like 100 downloads on an app to 50,000 in 90 days. You know, we've seen incredible results. And I guarantee you that just by keeping consistent, you will have an exponential implication on your organization sooner than you think. Just keep it consistent. That's all that's needed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. So for those tuning in, I mean, what would be your last piece of advice? Somebody who wants to learn, what would be like that piece of advice that you learned throughout this process? You would just give it to them and say, this is my advice from me to you.
Go out there, you know, that's the single piece of advice. Again, don't overthink, don't try to have the perfect process, because at the beginning is a long and expensive exercise. Try to be the most out there with your clients, with your leads, and try to understand the most you can out of them and not out of your brain.
Yeah. Remove yourself from the assumptions. Completely agree. I think that's a great takeaway. Yeah, remove yourself from the assumptions and just go with what's real and just get out there and take action. Completely agree with you. It's a different world to what you're thinking. It's quite incredible. And it's a different mindset. It's a mindset, by the way. We've been conditioned not to do this. School did not help us. Going into corporate did not help us very much with this kind of thinking. But so be it. That's why this challenge and these kinds of tools exist. Awesome. So as we come to the end, we have a paid forward system. That's part of how the challenge works. And you get the opportunity to nominate up to 3 people that you would like to pass the challenge on, who obviously qualify, but also can really use this challenge to help them out. Who are you paying it forward to and why?
So to Piero and Elena, I will tell the name and then what they do. Why? Because Elena from Lea Growing People, they have a beautiful company. It's about coaching and consulting services. They want to build a platform for coach, and they are growing. They have 35 people into the system. They have a lot of interest, and it's a very interesting environment and venture. So I would like to nominate her because I want to see her and Lea Growing People grow. And I will nominate Piero because they are more in fintech solution, and they want to give an opportunity to people to be self-sufficient with their, or at least aware of their future plan, money related. And there's a lot of interest also there, and I want to see them grow. So Piero and then another 2 nomination.
Awesome. There we go. So as we always come to the challenge, I give you one last surprise challenge. And as you know, in the book, we have space for 20 growth hacks. We've done 3 together. So if in the next 60 days, I challenge you to finish the remaining 17, and you already, I think, have about another 3 or 4 that you and I generated through our discussions, at least in the last hack, that you can use. If you can get all 17 done in 60 days, I'm running an all-star program where I try to identify and bring in next level growth for those who finish the challenge in a whole different program. So my last challenge to you is finish the remaining 17 in 60 days, man.
I will take it.
And you can, you know, that's how it is, man. I'm confident you can do it. So guys, that's Costa. To know more information, of course, click below. To know his story, head over to the kickoff video. And there we go. Challenge complete. Costa, best of luck.
Thank you, Nadim.